Welcome to Head On from our studios in Abuja, Nigeria. I am Benneth Joshua. On today's show, we will look at the effects of codeine on Nigerians. I will discuss whether government's ban will offer any help. First and first, all over the world, drug abuse is rampant. For some societies, cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, just name them, is a monster addictive substance. In the case of Nigeria, it is codeine, to list few. Our show today focuses on codeine. Is the ban by the government on the production of drugs using codeine, its importation and distribution, of course, any help? My guest today will be Festus Onifade. Festus Onifade is the lead director of Bridge and Bond Development Initiative. The body is a non-governmental organization involved in drug abuse advocacy. But before he comes, I will go on a short break. Stay with me.
Thinking of live television on the go? Think no more. Television Nigerian has got you covered, no matter your age, your education, language, tribe, or religion. Whether it is in your car, your office, or any other place of your choice, you can depend on Television Nigerian anytime, any day, and anywhere. We are online 24/7. You can catch the latest news, politics, sports, and entertainment via your mobile phone, your tablet, or any other device at no extra data charges or costs. Just like our Facebook page, Television Nigerian. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Television Nigerian, and also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at TV Nigerian to enjoy all that television can offer. Television Nigerian, broadcast beyond boundaries. Thinking of live television on the go? Think no more. Television Nigerian has got you covered, no matter your age, your education, language, tribe, or religion. Whether it is in your car, your office, or any other place of your choice, you can depend on Television Nigerian anytime, any day, and anywhere. We are online 24/7. You can catch the latest news, politics, sports, and entertainment via your mobile phone, your tablet, or any other device at no extra data charges or costs. Just like our Facebook page, Television Nigerian. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Television Nigerian, and also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at TV Nigerian to enjoy all that television can offer. Television Nigerian, broadcast beyond boundaries.
Glad to know you're still there. I begin today's show by inviting a special guest, one who has been involved for months in the advocacy against drug abuse, Mr. Festus Onifade Esquire. He's also a lawyer and the lead director of Bridge and Bond Development Initiative, an NGO that has its tentacles across the length and breadth of Nigeria. Mr. Festus, you are welcome to today's show.
Thank you for having me.
Let me go straight to the meat of the matter. The incidence of drug abuse in Nigeria is one that worries me especially. One thing that keeps bothering my mind is those who abuse these drugs, how did they get to know about the potency of these drugs?
Unfortunately, the issue of drug abuse has been with us over the years. As a matter of fact, for a long time. If you school back in the days, say in the 80s, you go to a tertiary institution, you see an ugly kind of sign with a cross that looks kind of scary, that tells people about the effect of drug abuse. So it's been with us for a long time. But recently, the dimension at which drug abuse has assumed is an alarming one, a one that is very worrisome for us as a country. And so it has become now more like an epidemic. It's a big menace that has come to ravage virtually every strata of our society. The most worrisome is the youth. The involvement of the youth and adolescent in the issue that relates to drug abuse is very worrisome. It's very worrisome. And that's why we have been involved over in the past few months in the issue that relates to advocacy on drug abuse. Say no to drug abuse. And in fact, we coined a message that says drug no be food, telling people that the way we consume this thing is not food. We consume it in such a proportion that is very disturbing.
You know, if you talk about drug abuse and the effects it creates, of course, we know that most times is a situation in which you take the drug and, let me use the local parlance, you temporarily forget your sorrows. So you readily want to associate it with people who have higher stakes, higher responsibilities. Then bringing it back to the issue of youth, why the youth? Why not the older ones that have higher responsibilities?
Unfortunately, it is a new dimension. Before now, it wasn't like that. When those days, it used to be the people who have responsibility, people who have things to care about, people who have several school fees to pay. That's why you want to forget your soul. But now, you now find young people, students in their teenage age, secondary schools, universities, and you also find celebrities. You find politicians getting so involved in drug abuse, and you'll be asking yourself, what is the benefit?
That's the situation we are.
That's the situation. It's so bad. What is the gain? The thing is, I think it has to do with a lot of influence from the outside world, a lot of influence that we get from the social media, the influence that we get from the TV, from the interaction with the outside world. People begin to feel that the way it's being done over there, it should be done here. And you see, when we were growing up, this codeine that have come to become a drug that is abused, virtually all of us had it at one time or the other.
But we didn't know the other.
Yes, we didn't know that it could be a substance you could take and get high on. We all use this codeine as the medium, as a drug which you use to treat yourself of some form of cough or other pain relief drugs. So until recently, people begin to see the need, the chemical substance in these drugs, and begin to use them in a way that it affects them.
I would like to ask, beside the fact that you have said, of course, that perhaps foreign influences help create the situation we're battling with today. But are there no local social dynamics that contribute to this?
No, of course, people will always say the issue of unemployment, the issue of peer pressures and all that. But the truth of the matter is that unemployment and whatever issue that people are attributing to drug-related matters, nobody is immune from the socio-economic problem of the country. You won't say because of that you want to indulge in something that affects your health. Because the issue of drug abuse, apart from the social implication, it has serious health implication. It has serious health implication, and that's for us is an issue too. So nobody is immune. So why will you want to do that? Why would you want to engage in something that you know will prejudice your health?
Could that then bring in the fact of ignorance?
Not just ignorance. What about, do you want to excuse the celebrities? People who, in a way, you term as enlightened and are yet are involved in the abuse of these substances. They know.
Okay, let's see. For the celebrities, we understand the dynamics of the situation. If you take a visit to Kano State, for instance, before the show began proper, I was telling you of my experience in the north. You go to Kano State, for instance, you see what havoc the abuse of substance has caused. The celebrities, we can excuse them. We will say they need that confidence to get on stage. What about the young man, the young woman on the streets of Kano, on the streets of Jigawa, like any other place, that perhaps get the vibe they get from this drug, which will be the motivating factor?
Let me help correct something. Drug does not give you any confidence. Drug does not give you what you don't have. I was listening to a comment on some social media, I think whether a discussion, and some people were talking about some drugs that gives some people inspiration. A drug will inspire what you have.
Will help you bring out what you have.
Yes. If you don't have it, the drug can give you what you don't have.
In other words, it's safe to take drugs just to get out what you have.
That's the point I'm trying to make, that either way is not. So if you want to say that you can excuse the celebrities are not excused. I'm saying at whatever level, those people should not be excused. Now, coming to the issue which you mentioned, which is the northern part of the country, it becomes so much a problem for us. Now, why it becomes a problem, it's because of perhaps maybe the religious issue that is involved.
Does religion ask anyone to take drugs?
No. Let me explain. Some religions, especially in the north, prohibit the consumption of alcohol, and people is an escapist theory. Now, when you cannot get high, you are prohibited from taking alcohol, and you find solace in something else, which in a way is not prohibited.
It's not covered by.
Yes, so people readily find solace in it, and that's why sometimes ago, I think late last year, there was a report that said, I think by NDLA, that about 3 to 4 million bottles of codeine are consumed in Kano State alone. Kano State alone, 3 to 4 million bottles of codeine per day. So that tells you the rate at which this menace has eaten deep. And I beg to say that it's not only just Kano. We are talking about every part of this country. It might be endemic in this part of this country. And in the recent study which we undertook, we realized that even Abuja itself, is really deeply immersed in these incidences of drug abuse. And that's why in our advocacy campaign, we have chosen to begin our campaign from Abuja, Kano, Kaduna, Jigawa, Yobe, and Borno State. So we move in that direction. So it's not just Kano.
Okay.
It's the entire northern region.
The entire northern region.
More endemic. But the whole country is culpable.
Now, as we prepare to go on a short break, I want to ask this question. In the course of your study, have you considered what the situation was before now? And we will know what it is at the moment. But I had conversation with a couple of persons who say that the current economic situation may be behind it all. So in the course of your study, what was the situation before now?
Yes, of course, there is the issue of unemployment rate. A lot of students after school do not have employment. We also have the issue of out of school child. And there's a report, or a UN report, that says that about 10.5 million children in northern part of the country are out of school.
In northern Nigeria.
In northern Nigeria. So that is also disturbing for us. When you have a lot of children on the street, out of school, out of work, either by socio-economic circumstances or by by government policy or whatever, these children are out of school. They are not gainfully engaged in any meaningful thing. So you will readily find some of these children being engaged in some other vices, and that's what we are experiencing, because we have a lot of them being out of school, a lot of them out of a job. So they are a ready hand in the hand, perhaps involved in these vices. So that's what we are noticing.
Sadly, are we having the generation of addicts?
Unfortunately, yes. If you begin to abuse a drug consistently for a period of time, you become dependent upon that drug. And that's where you have the issue of addiction. And so they are all multi-related. When you abuse continuously, then you become dependent upon that drug. You see yourself as if you cannot do without taking the drug, then you become addictive to it.
Okay, briefly, link the connection between the abuse of this drug and the insecurity challenges we have in the north.
That's the greatest worry for us. That's the greatest worry. The issue of drug abuse cannot be separated from crime. As a matter of fact, about 90% of crime and criminalities are drug induced. Now, because it takes somebody that is on drug to look into your eye and cut you off not with a knife, not with a gun, with a knife, with machete. It takes somebody that is under the influence of some other substances. And that's the issue we're having. That's the issue. Check out the recent robbery in Kwara State, We understand that some of the perpetrators of that crime are drug addicts. If you go on any raid, any of the crime scene, you will find those guys with a bottle of codeine or some tablets or some substances. So it
knocks off their reasoning for the time being.
Of course, it's something that gives them the energy to do those things that are extremely impossible to do by their natural self. Things that you will want to be cautious, you will want to have a rethink if you want to do, they will not have a rethink because they are under the influence of something.
Okay. Mr. Festus Onifade, I will hold you on that thought. When we return from this break, we will look at how easy it is to get access to this drug. Stay with us.
For almost a decade, the Nigerian army have given their all to ensure that our dear country is not overrun by Boko Haram insurgents. Some have in the process paid the ultimate price, while many will forever live with indelible scars occasioned by their determination to protect the country, no matter the hurdle. Despite these, they have remained resolute and undaunted, and today, all territories the insurgents once took control of have been recaptured and normalcy restored. And now, for the first time in a long time, the end of Boko Haram is foreseeable. Therefore, the wisest thing for the remaining insurgents to do is to surrender today or face total destruction from the army. Remember, the Nigerian army will stop at nothing to ensure that total peace is restored in all parts of the country. So, be wise and embrace peace today or get ready to be ruthlessly dealt with. This message is brought to you by the Coalition on Conflict Resolution and Human Rights in Nigeria.
Thanks for being there. It is still head on, and today we are discussing the effects of codeine on Nigerians and trying to examine the government's ban on the importation of these ordinarily helpful drugs that have become harmful. My guest on today's show is still Festus Onifade, Esquire. Mr. Festus, back to the question I asked before we went on break. Why is it easy to get access to these drugs?
Why is it easy?
Why is it easy?
The drugs are not banned. They are off-the-counter drugs. They are drugs you should be able to access, but at least on prescription, you should be able to access. Now, the question is not the access. The question is, let me say, the volume of the quantity you access. If you want a bottle of codeine for your child, you should be able to have access to it. But if you begin to get, say, a carton of codeine, 2 cartons of codeine, then it becomes troublesome. Then the person should interrogate you and say, excuse me. I mean, but what you have found is that the chain of distribution for these drugs are somehow, I don't want to use the word, what one government official says, chaotic. It's somehow chaotic, and it's abuse again, because perhaps of the pecuniary benefit people get.
Now, in a way, you've answered my last question. I was going to ask you if government is doing enough to control the distribution, sales, and consumption of this substance.
Government is doing what I think they can do, but whether it's enough, if it's enough, we won't find ourselves in this circumstance. We won't find ourselves where we are now. What government is doing, we might say is not enough. Right from the entry point of imported drugs. And now we must be able to delineate the ones that are harmful, the ones that are allowed, the ones that are permitted, and from there we begin to take control of the sales and distribution of these drugs. And this is where NAFDAC comes in. This is where customs also comes in. This is where NDLA comes in. How do you import a drug? Say, take for example from India, and the drug gets to our port undetected. The drug leaves the port until the drug gets to Asina, where the end users are. That's where you now find out that a trailer load of, or let me say, some containers of drugs were imported and found their way into the market. So we need to do more on enforcement of this or policing more of these illicit drugs. But the problem is much more than that. Before now, Nigeria used to be a transit country, but now we are no more a transit country. Nigeria is now a manufacturing country of drugs and substances. So today is codeine that's banned. There are so many of those substances that youth still consume that are locally produced, locally concocted concoction. People sniff, people drink, and so many of them, and get them high. So there's a lot of work in our hands. So if we think we have banned codeine and we think we can go to sleep, no. There's so many other drugs that are.
Okay, but The picture I have in my mind now is a rather grim picture. Make a projection given the situation on ground. If this situation continues, in the next 10, 15 years, what do you see?
I mean, it's better imagine that than experience. You already say, you can imagine if it continues like this. You know the rate of crime. You also know the health challenges, the health implication. You know how many people are going mentally impaired day by day. There's a statistics that was one released by, I think, NBC, that says 18% of Nigerians are mentally unstable. So you see a man walking down the street talking to himself, the man is actually mentally imbalanced. And
It's not soliloquizing.
we are talking about mental challenge. We are talking about, so these are so many drug-related problems. So you can imagine if it continues like this in the next 10 years, you can imagine where we found ourselves. So I think all hands must be on deck. One of our campaign slogan is in our NGO is a child that it is not your business today might destroy your business tomorrow. So every one of us, you, I, every one of us seated, everybody in our neighborhood must see this issue as our problem and must look for a way to find solutions.
That's my primary concern. How do we break down the support system in the fight
Yes,
against it?
One of the things we do is to, number one, the chain must be interrupted. Everything that has to do with the distribution must be interrupted. Then every one of us must get involved. Must get involved in the fight. The social enlightenment campaign must continue. We must tell the people the harmful effect of this drug on them.
Mr. Festus Onifade Esquire, Lead Director, Bridge and Bond Development Initiative, an NGO that has dedicated itself to the fight against drug abuse. It's been a wonderful time, sir. Thank you for coming to today's show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, as we round up today's show, it's important to point out that anyone can become a drug abuser, and current information indicates that all ethnicities, social groups, and gender can have drug abuse problems. It should be noted that drug abuse is not a character flaw, but rather it is a medical condition that has developed over time. There is no established fact that drug abuse runs in the family. Therefore, like my guest has said, parents should create enough time to attend to the needs of their children and guide them properly to adulthood. The family size should be limited to reflect the socioeconomic status of a total well-being. The leader should take active part in resolving the crisis at hand and help prevent further occurrences through their utterances and action and keep the family unit intact. There should also be effective communications, and maybe the time has come, the very time, for setting up of drug abuse vigilante groups for early detection and containment. Besides that, the youth groups can also play significant roles. They should positively use peer pressure to move their colleagues away from drug abuse and prevent new cases from occurring. Government should urgently empower the relevant agencies with adequate funding to discharge their duties appropriately, and the agencies made to be alive with their responsibility, as government must ensure that the drug distribution system is sanitized and access to dangerous drugs is severely restricted. Everybody involved in the handling of drugs must be brought under regulatory control. The economy must be stimulated to provide jobs for the unemployed and underemployed, as all alternative means of engagement like sports must be provided to take the youth off the streets. This is not setting aside the role of professional bodies and trade groups that must also be involved in the effort to educate the youth and limit the availability of drugs to professionals only. By this, pharmaceutical industries and manufacturers, importers and distributors, retailers have a big role to play. The campaign to rid our youth of drug has just begun. Nigeria must get to its destination in one piece with same news. It's been heard on television Nigeria. Thank you for being a part of it. Until I come your way again, remain drug-free. I am Benneth Joshua, saying goodbye.
Thinking of live television on the go? Think no more. Television Nigerian has got you covered, no matter your age, your education, language, tribe, or religion. Whether it is in your car, your office, or any other place of your choice, you can depend on Television Nigerian anytime, any day, and anywhere. We are online 24/7. You can catch the latest news, politics, sports, and entertainment via your mobile phone, your tablet, or any other device at no extra data charges or costs. Just like our Facebook page, Television Nigerian. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Television Nigerian, and also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at TV Nigerian to enjoy all that television can offer. Television Nigerian, broadcast beyond boundaries.